Hello. Well, I've finally made it to Newbridge. It's about 3 p.m. on the 23rd of June. I was going to be about 3 hours earlier, but I missed one of my connections in Oxford, so getting here's been a bit of a mare. Anyway, this is the fourth part of my journey. Got it! Keep going! Keep going! Good! You may notice that my rucksack's a bit bigger this time, and there's a tent hanging off the bottom. That's because for this section of the Thames path, I'm going to do it over 3 days, hoping to make it to Wallingford. I need to make it to Wallingford because that's where my car is, and I think it's about 40 miles altogether. There's not much in the way of campsites en route, so I'm going to have to wild camp, but I don't think that would be a real problem. I mean, there's plenty of sort of grassy spaces along the path, so I'm not anticipating any problems. Really looking forward to it. It's a beautiful day today. I think it's going to be cloudy tomorrow, and it's predicting rain on Friday, but that's alright, I don't mind. So yeah, here we go. It'll be good. I've come to my first lock of this walk. It's called North Moorlock, with a pretty hefty weir. Those planes keep flying overhead. Some sort of military base nearby. I've made it to Bablock Hythe, I think that's how you say it, which apparently is the most famous and one of the oldest of the river crossings. I reckon the Romans used to ford here, and it was used as a ferry point or a ford for about 1,000 years. I think that's what my book says, although it's not active now. But there's a pub here called the Ferryman. You can see that, see its name. I don't know, maybe you can. Anyway, my path so far has been walking through meadows, grass meadows. Not much happening really. To start with, I found it a little bit tedious, to be honest, but as I've plodded on, the river's worked its magic upon me and found its tranquility and peace, and yeah, it was alright. It was pleasant enough. Quite enjoyed it in the end. Keep going. Anyway, from here, apparently, the path turns away from the river for a little while, and I think it follows this kind of tarmac road. Well, I was plodding along through some pretty uninspiring fields, I must say, and then all of a sudden, look, I'm back with the river. Oh, I'm so glad about that. I'm so happy. I missed it. I'm about to go under Swinford Bridge. There's loads more boats around here now, and I even saw a couple of people swimming. just stopped for a short break at Isham Lock, a few yards up. Met a couple of folk living in the boat. They filled my water bottle up for me. It's really kind of them. So yeah, I've got enough water for my breakfast in the morning now. So really, I'm going to walk about another 4 miles somewhere near Godstow, I think it's called, and then just try and find somewhere I can pitch my tent and bed down for the night. This is King's Lock. It's pretty typical, the locks along this stretch of the water. And there's a chap with his boat. Well, I talked to the chap with his boat, who seemed to know the area or this bit of the river pretty well. And apparently behind me is a campsite which is closed. But the lock keeper's gone home and he won't be back till about 8-9 o'clock in the morning. So I don't think anybody's going to know. Hopefully I'll be gone by then. There's another chap around there camping. There's about 80 odd who's doing this marathon canoeing thing for dementia, which is pretty impressive. So pitched my tent up around there, and I'm going to stay here for the night. It's not as far as I really wanted to get. I wanted to get the other side of the whatever it is, main road, really, around the other side of Godstow, so I'm a few miles short, but it doesn't really matter. It's alright, tomorrow's a shortish day. Good morning, day 2. Well, I'm back on the path again, leaving King's Lock. I cannot say that was the best night's sleep I've ever had. It was cold. I was really surprised because it doesn't feel especially cold now. And noisy. There's a road, the A34, sort of, well, we're going to go under it in a little bit. There was that all night, and then about midnight there's all these massive planes taking off, making a right racket. I think it's the RAF again. But never mind, it was a good spot. Today I'm aiming to get as far as Hampden, and then yeah, just got to find somewhere to camp again. My tent's a bit wet, so it'd be nice if I find somewhere to dry it out, but I don't know. Oh, look at that weir. Can you see the weir? It's massive, isn't it? It's supposed to be just cloudy today, but it keeps spotting rain. So, don't know. We'll see. Whatever. I've not walked far and I've come to what remains of Godstow Abbey, which was built in the 12th century, which many of these things were. Apparently it became quite a famous finishing school for daughters of the nobility. All that remains now is the walls that you see, and that in the end is the, I think it said it was a 16th century chapel. But the best bit that is left is across the river. There's now a pub called the Trout, and apparently that was originally a hospice. I think you can just make out the skyline of Oxford over there. The patch of grass in front of us is called Port Meadow, which was a common land. Behind me is Osney Bridge, so I've reached the outskirts of the city of Oxford. This is Lock. It's got a very beautiful garden. I think I'm kind of gradually making my way out of Oxford to the outbacks again. I'm a few miles south of Oxford now, heading towards, I will tell you, Sandford. Thames definitely seems a lot wider now. And there's some pretty huge houses, buildings along the way. The guy down there in his canoe is paddling 137 miles for Alzheimer's Society, and he's over 80. He camped where I did last night, so I got to talk to him, and his son's sort of supporting him and doing it. And that's King's Arms. Highly recommend it. Really nice food, friendly people. It's a really beautiful lock. Right, so onward now. Press on. Here we go. This is Radlund College Boathouse. Apparently Radlund College has a very strong rowing tradition. You'd never guess, would you? Andy, can we just put all the boats of rats? And there's my friend, still paddling down the river. Very admirable. I was just thinking, I haven't seen anybody else these last 2 days walking the Thames path, and then this couple come around the corner who are walking it. They're doing a series of day walks. It's been really quiet since college boathouses. I haven't seen virtually anybody. I've seen my friend paddling his canoe a few times, but apart from that, nothing much on the river. The river's gone really quiet. and nothing much on this path. Parts of the path have been a little bit tedious, to be honest. It's just like a narrow dirt footpath, and then either side all this greenery which is quite tall, and it's a bit claustrophobic. So I think probably this bit has been the most uneventful bit of the walk so far. But I think I'm getting near to Abingdon, so hopefully things will change. I've made it to Abingdon Lock, and I think I'm going to wander into Abingdon and just have a bit of a mooch around there. It's a bit early really, try and find somewhere to camp. This is Abingdon on Thames. I've made it this far. Let's see if I can find a coffee shop and have a coffee and a bit of cake. It's about 5:15 now. I'm leaving Abingdon after I'd had me coffee and cake, which was a very nice latte. Got to say, Java was the place. They definitely make good latte. I went and sat in the Abbey Gardens for an hour or so, just chilling out, resting. And now I'm heading further down the river, and just need to find somewhere to pitch my tent. It's a bit early really, so I'm just upstream of Culham. Been walking along beside this pea field, and I found this spot here, which looks alright to me. Can't imagine anybody moaning at me for pitching here for the night. And look at this, looking out over the river. Isn't that beautiful? So I think I'm going to claim this as my spot. Good morning. It's Friday, so this is the last day of my walk. It's a bit of a wet one today. Yeah, it rained a bit in the early hours of the morning, and yeah, everywhere's a bit soggy. Anyway, I've cleared up, set off, left no trace, as you should, and I think the first priority is try and find something a little bit sheltered and have my breakfast. But yeah, feel good, feel ready for it, looking forward to it. This is just the other side of Untitled Bridge. Nice little bit of woodland to walk through. To be honest, it's quite refreshing after walking through fields and fields and meadows. And maybe you can see on the water the rain. Just listen to the morning sounds. Isn't that a fantastic way to start your day? Made it to Clifton Hampden Lock, which according to my friend yesterday was 4.5 miles from Abingdon. And I found a bench, so I'm going to stop now and cook my breakfast, because it doesn't look like it's going to rain anymore. In fact, it looks a bit like it's lightening up. There's some really posh houses along this stretch of the river. Some of them are really massive as well. Absolutely huge. It's definitely a place for the wealthy. Really enjoyed walking along by this bit of woodland. Just listening to all the birds songing it. Bound to have to do some main road walking sometime, won't I? After all that peace and quiet of the countryside, it's a bit of a shock. Anyway, this is the A423. Unfortunately, I don't think I'll walk along it for very long. Goodness me. Look at this. I feel like I've just been past the Riviera of the Thames. Massive boats. All these people, this very posh cafe. Something else. But anyway, at long last I found somewhere to sit. Have a look in the water. I'll have a go dry my socks off for a little bit. I think I'm getting near to Wallingford now. It's been very pleasant walking down this tree-lined path from Benson. It's got another over here, look. Here comes some cyclists. Let's get out of the way. Hiya.
Good afternoon.
It is a good afternoon. Yeah, there's the river. I can see some buildings up ahead of me. So I think that's it. So I'm getting near the end of my walk. So I've made it to Wallingford. This is the end of my 3-day journey. It's it's worked out well. Enjoyed it, and the weather has been fine. Definitely met some interesting people along the way and some very friendly people, and it's been a great variety of countryside. Some was a bit tedious, but on the whole it was good. Anyway, thanks for being with me, and we'll start from here for part 5, whenever that is. Take care.